Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. Oh, that sounds kind of bad if I'm like, yet another episode. Yawn. Here she goes again. This chick, get a load of her. Look at this broad just thinking she can do another podcast as if anyone's even listening. But I am. And people are listening. And I appreciate those people so very much. I genuinely appreciate every single person that has listened that is listening for the first time now, or has been since the beginning, or somewhere in between. Everybody. I just genuinely, really appreciate it. I'm sidetracked by a grasshopper. I am fascinated yet scared to death of grasshoppers. Not scared of, I don't like them jumping up at me, man. I think it's really weird when they jump up at me. I'm like, oh. And I don't like to catch things because I think it's mean. You're like scaring the crap out of them. They don't know if you're going to hurt them or not. They don't know where you're taking them. They have a sibling or a partner. I don't know. And I don't want to take them away from their environment. I don't want some big, gigantic person, a giant coming up and swooping me out of my environment and then just plopping me into like the Middle East and being like, you live here now with these random people that are not your family. It's like, okay, thanks. And by the way, I'm not used to all this heat. I'm a pasty white chick. I'm Scandinavian. I can't hack it over there, but okay. So, I try not to. And I also don't smush bugs because I always look at it like, what if they have a family or friends? And plus, it's just, who am I? Now, okay, that said, I'm not going to lie. I need to rephrase. There are some animals, some living creatures out there that I admit, like wasps and elder beetles and earwigs and stink bugs. I take umbrage. That's a word, right? Yeah, I should know. I should not just think I know what a word means before I use it. But I have an issue with those. I don't like wasps. I love honeybees. I love bees. Like, love bumblebees, love honeybees. They're great. But holy crap, the wasps can just go fuck themselves. For real. They're mean little fucks. They just keep coming at you. They don't know. No means no. It's like a rapey vibe, It's like, or a murderous vibe. It's really not cool. And they keep stinging you. And they're just like, take it, take it, take it. And they follow you around like, fuck off. And my boyfriend at the time used to think that the way that you could not be afraid. And I loved it. And it worked for a while. It really did. But I think I may have told the story, but long story short, went camping, Mount Adams. Half of Mount Adams was totally on fire. And the other half that was not on fire, it was far enough away they weren't worried and they were letting people camp, but it was pissing the bees off. So the bees were extra just angry and pissed off. And there's signs everywhere being like, hey, by the way, if you want to camp here, that's cool. But there's a lot of pissed off, angry bees. So, do so at your own discretion. And I already am not a fan of yellow jackets or, those wasps with the long 9-inch long tail. He's like the Ron Jeremy. Those paper wasps, whatever they're called, are like the Ron Jeremy of wasps. And younger people aren't going to know who Ron Jeremy is, but he's a porn star that was known for having a gigantic dick, huge. But they were all over the place and it didn't bother him, And he's always like, well, stay calm. They won't sting you. And I'm like, bullshit. Every time I've been calm, they sting. So at any rate, he's like, well, look at it like this. Every time they come near you or are flying around, narrate for them, narrate, kind of how Rockstar, the Instagram guy, when people put words to animals, do that and it'll make them a lot less disarming. And he's like, look at it maybe they're when they're next to your face, they're like, hey, you, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, you, look at me, look at me, look at me. And like, if you just make it sound like they're cute and they're just being nosy, and if they're around your food, they're more like, give me some of that. I want some of that. Hey, I want some of that. Give me some of that food, man. Don't eat all that food. Give it to me. Like, and it worked for a while. It's like, okay, then they kind of seem cute, except they're not. They're bastards. They still come at you. Like, you can try to be nice. And by the way, the first time I ever got stung in my whole life, and I was like freaking 40 something years old and I'd never been stung, was at Matt Adams, because we're just traipsing along, minding our own beeswax. And my poor dog, who I had to put to sleep yesterday, and I did a podcast about it already called All Dogs Go to Heaven. And anyway, she was with us, and unfortunately, she accidentally disturbed like a log in the ground that had bees in it. Now, granted, I understand bees are going to be like, "What the fuck, bruh? Like, we're working over here. We're minding our own business. We're sleeping. We're doing our thing." And you come over and you like, and she just walked over it. She didn't even know it was there. She wasn't like digging at it. She wasn't trying to harm the bees. She just walked over it because it was on the ground where people step. There's a trail there. And unfortunately, she got stung quite a bit, and thankfully was not allergic. And I got stung like 20 times, and so did my boyfriend, and it was a whole thing. And okay, I'm like, all right, well, they were pissed. But then eh, so I'd never been stung ever until I was in my 40s. And then after that, I'm minding my own damn business, being totally calm. And one landed on my hand and then stung me and then took off. And I was standing perfectly still, because when he landed on me, I was like, okay, I got to be still. I got to be calm. That's what they say. Be still. Don't freak out. Watch your breathing. And then it was like, he was like, nope. Boom. Needle in the ass. Boom. Poke you with my ass. And he did. And I was like, you little son of a bitch. Why would you do that? I was not even bothering you. And then I've been stung 2 other times other than that. And same situation. Stayed calm, didn't do anything, and they stung me. So my point is, see, digression. There's a yellow jacket right now. My point is, yellow jackets can go fuck themselves. So can earwigs. Ever since that fucking Star Trek movie, we all know, if you're from my generation, it was a movie, and he put on this helmet and there were earwigs and it went inside his ear, and now I've never been the same, and I was like fucking 7 years old, and I'm an old lady now, so I'm disturbed and I hate earwigs. And no, I will kill an earwig. I will kill a wasp and elder beetles and stink bugs, even though they stink and. But my point to all of that tangent was, I try not to kill bugs, because who am I? They have a life. They're not mine. And, they're here for a reason. Now, I know I'm being hypocritical because I said I do kill some bugs. Well, you know what? Some vegans secretly eat some food. Does that make it right? No. But am I a totally horrible person? No. So, that's some stuff that's been on my mind. Those are some things. The weather has been another thing. Do you guys think that you tuned in just for me to talk about the weather and what animals I may or may not kill? And, well, it is called, again, Ramblings of an Insomniac. So that's kind of on you, right? If you didn't think I wasn't going to ramble, why would I call it ramble? It's in the title. It's right there. It's like that whole hide in plain sight. I'm hiding in plain sight. I said Ramblings of an Insomniac plus Insomniac. You got to know we're crazy. I don't sleep, right? So these are the things I discuss. In one podcast, I could talk about politics, death, life, animals, groceries, cars, my feelings, who knows? It's like Oregon. In Oregon, you can get all of the weather at once. In fact, we had snow, sleet, hail, sun, rain, wind, fog, all in one day. I mean, granted, a lot of that makes sense because a lot of those things happen when it's cold. And anyway, but still, we also had the sun. That's why there's that saying, when someone says, what is the weather like in Oregon? You're like, well, it's maybe 70 degrees now, but wait 10 minutes, look outside, and that's what the weather's like, because in a 10-minute span, it could change. It literally could rain and snow and be totally sunny and totally windy all in one day. which I think is the same for a lot of places, actually. Who's Oregon to say we're not well, I don't think we ever said we were the only ones, but okay, so speaking of Oregon and my dumbass state that's beautiful, and I'm proud because it is beautiful. I just went to the Cascade Locks area out where Multnomah Falls and all of the beautiful the gorge is. And if you haven't been to Oregon, I suggest going to Bend. I suggest going to the gorge. I suggest going to Cannon Beach. I suggest Bandon or Yachats. I suggest looking at the vineyards of the Willamette Valley. But we have a lot of waterfalls. And I was out in that area checking out the waterfalls with my son and my grandson. And it was the Wasilla waterfall. And it was beautiful out there. And I was like, man, this state is so stinking beautiful, but holy crap, we are just cuckoo bananas. Like we are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in the state of Oregon. And Tina Tampax, our governor, along with her predecessor, Kate Flush It Down Brown, are just garbage. They were Kate Flush It Down Brown was garbage, and Tina Tampax is currently garbage. And it's sad because homelessness is just taken over, drugs taken over, entitlement. My taxes, I am getting like 32% taken out in my taxes right now. And that's a bunch of like 33. I think I'm actually at 33%. I'm getting taken out. And then they're turning around and trying to tell me that I owe another $500. And I'm like, no, I don't. I already paid you taxes. See, I already gave you taxes. I have income tax and I pay income tax. It gets taken out of my check every single time I get paid. The government gets paid. And so, no, I do not owe you money on top of that. How about the people that are not putting in their fair share and that are taking disability when they shouldn't have it, or there's fake Social Security people that don't even exist that are taking my Social Security. And how about you spend the money that we give you the way that you're supposed to? How about you manage money? How about the money goes to what the voters pay you to do? Like, fix our roads, fix the potholes, give it to our schools. And that is why the Department of Education does need to be closed, because children should have a boatload more than what they do. And they would. They would have a boatload more if the government didn't decide that kids needed it and decided that they instead needed a boat or a vote. And they used it for like money laundering. And that's not cool because they don't like children. That's why they try to, at 12 years old, say it's okay to mutilate yourself as a child, because they don't give a shit about children. That's why they make it okay for a child to get a lap dance by a stranger who is an adult, because they don't care about children. That is why they make it no longer necessary to be able to read, write, or speak English or do basic math to graduate, because they don't like children and they want them to stay dumb and sexualized and dress provocative and to be sex trafficked and to get abortions, to not teach, oh my God, all of a sudden my brain, abstinence, to not teach abstinence, but instead to teach that abortion is just a tool, to not teach to respect their bodies and respect themselves, but to go ahead and chop off their breasts or go ahead and open their legs anytime. And if that happens, we'll pay for you to go get an abortion that will change your life forever. Oh, it's just like, it's so frustrating right now when everything that I'm seeing, and I know it's like an algorithm thing, and that's why I take breaks. I take a lot of breaks from politics and from just social media, because I can't handle it. I can't handle how everybody is behaving and somehow making it like the total norm to stab and murder and vandalize and burn things and disrespect our country and disrespect one another. If I see another video of an elderly person that's walking their dog, getting beat up and harassed and bullied by teenagers or young men in their 20s, I swear to God, I'm going to find out who these men are, who these young men are, who these teenagers are. I don't care if it's illegal, who these teenagers are, and say, if you want to bully and harass someone, do it to me. Do it to me. I fucking double dog dare you, because I have a lot of stuff going on in my life. And I've been using the punching bag to get out my rage, but I would love to get out my rage in other forms if you would like to come and try to bully me and lay off the, weaker people that are, I'm not saying that if you're elderly, you can't defend yourself or that you're weak. I'm just saying that's pretty shitty for a 20-something-year-old to be not respectful, number one, to their elders, but also to try to pick on them. And then when they have a dog, like, what the fuck are you thinking? What kind of monster are you? And it's these young kids in their late teens or mid-teens to early 20s, 15, 14-year-olds up to like 22-year-olds. God, it's just disgusting. And if you are between like 15 and 22 and you're just a little fucking punk ass motherfucker to your elders or just to people, to even your peers, come do that to me. You don't need to be bullying others. It's just absolutely disgusting. And adults, especially the Democratic Party, is absolutely 100% promoting this. They're making it cool. They're saying to do it as a way to solve issues. They're saying that every time you feel offended, anytime you disagree, anytime someone else has a different religion or calls themselves, identifies as something that's, a man or a woman, if they have a certain political affiliation, if they're straight, if they're white, you should ruin their lives. You should harm them. You should try to have them assassinated. You should stab them. You should key their car. You should vandalize things. You should burn their homes or cars or workforces down. You should throw things at them. You should call them names. You should pick on them and pick on their animals. That's how you should handle any type of disagreement, any different type of religious affiliation that's different than yours. You should do all of those things. That is what the Democrats are teaching and showing and promoting. And we're disgusting, and they keep talking about January 6th when it has been proven over and over and over that all the media did and all the Biden administration did was try to bring Trump down. They set the entire thing up. What actually happened and how the media and the Biden administration portrayed what happened as by actual facts are two different things. Yet you guys can say that while burning entire structures and people's homes and businesses down. You did that during Rodney King. You did that during George Floyd. You did that during Black Lives Matter crap. You did that during COVID. You're doing it right now with Elon, and you did it with Trump. And when you disagree, you make things like, put it this way, you are just pro killing and destruction if anybody gets in the way of what you believe. And if those people aren't hurting anybody, you're going to make it up so that people actually do go out and harm these people. And then you say that you're love and you're peaceful and you're accepting when your actions do not fit your actual words. So again, I want all of you to go down to Texas and all these border states, and I want you to park your happy little trailers down there. And I don't want you to lock the doors or the windows or put up a fence or get a gun or get security. And I want you to take a bunch of trailers, a bunch of motorhomes and stuff, and live and make yourself a little wall along the border of tiny homes or RVs or whatever, tents, and live on the border and then rent out or sell the houses or apartments that you're living in now to these illegal immigrants. And then make sure that their refrigerator is stocked with food. Make sure that their gas is full of their car. Make sure they have enough to go buy any kind of alcohol or cigarettes they want. Make sure you're paying for their cell phone. Make sure you're paying for the cell phone bill. Make sure you're paying for their health care. And then whatever's left over after that, you can have for yourself. And you can work like 12-hour days, 7 days a week, get 2 jobs so that you can afford to pay for all of that while they do nothing but continue to be illegal. They decided to make the conscientious choice to come across the border illegally. They knew it was illegal. So then, since you're going to now harbor an illegal alien, that's also a whole thing, but you're choosing to do that just like they're choosing to come across knowing the consequences. So you can choose to harbor them and see what the consequences are. You can choose to pay for all their food, and you can choose to have them live in your homes and give up your homes, and you can go live on the border. And again, don't have any guns because you're against guns. Don't put up a wall like a fence. Do not get security. Do not lock your windows or doors. In fact, you should just take the door right off the hinge because you're welcoming everybody. You don't believe in security. You don't believe in protection. You don't believe in safety, remember? So put your money where your mouth is. Go get yourself a home as close to the border as you can. Again, you can just, be maybe right on the wall. You could be the wall. You could have a bunch of RVs creating a wall, and you can have them live in there, and then you can live with them while you're renting out your home to the rest of their family. Because that is what you're for, remember? God, it's just a bunch of nonsense. It's a bunch of craziness. I don't understand how Trump can be blamed for any of this nonsense. If I get in a car and I drink and drive and I get into a car accident, I can't blame the police officer. It's not the police officer's fault. It's my fault. If I show up to work late or don't show up to work at all because I slept in too long, and then my boss gets upset with me, that's not my boss's fault that he got upset with me. It's my fault for not being on time. It's responsibility. It's accountability. It's knowing consequences. I know that if I'm late for work, I'm going to be in trouble. I know that if I drink and drive, I can either kill myself or someone else or get a ticket. I know these things, so I don't do those things. And if I do, I know and I'm aware of the consequences. I don't get mad at the consequences. I'm mad at myself for making poor choices. So the women and the parents that are coming along dragging their kids across the border, that's stupid. You're a horrible parent. You're a really bad parent. I'm going to say that, and I don't apologize, and I mean it. You are a very bad parent if you're making the conscientious choice to drag your child across this border, knowing full well that you may or may not see them again, knowing full well it's completely illegal, and you may not see your child. Just like I know full well that if I commit a crime, if I commit murder, I know I'm not going to see my kids again, or at least not for like 25 years or more, because I committed a crime and I know that I go to jail. So I'm removing myself away from my children. It's not the government's fault, it's my fault. So that makes you a terrible parent. Now, maybe you're wanting what's best for your kids. I get that. I have kids. I'm not heartless. I understand. If you're seeking asylum because you genuinely come from such a war-torn country, and maybe because you are Christian, or you're Jewish, they want to kill you, and you're seeking genuine refuge, I'm not a heartless person. I get that. I understand that. But there's ways to do it. And again, it's a real big fuck you to all the immigrants that are coming here and trying to come here legally and have come here legally. And they've said so. Every single legal immigrant is pissed off about illegal immigrants. So you keep talking about the immigrants around here. Talk to them. Talk to true immigrants that came here because they genuinely are from like war-torn countries. See what they have to say. See what Hispanic people have to say about Trump. See what Black people have to say about Trump. See what younger people have to say about Trump, because guess what? They like him. Don't speak on behalf of Hispanic people and say, you don't get to eat at a Mexican restaurant if you are against deportation. Again, like I said in my last podcast, that is very prejudiced. You're making an assumption. You're making the assumption that everybody that comes across the border is from Mexico. And again, don't speak on behalf of others. They probably need and want the business. They would like to pay their bills, and they can dictate who they will and will not serve. And no one gives a shit about Cinco de Mayo, okay? I'm just telling you, white people just use it as another excuse to drink because we like to drink and we just find any excuse we can. Happy, drink. Sad, drink. Promotion, drink. Got fired, drink. Cinco de Mayo, something that we don't even know what it is, drink. You don't get to tell us not to celebrate something. It means nothing. Like, I don't know, do you think you're Jesus? Are you that narcissistic that you think getting on TikTok and on social media going, hey, everybody, all Trump supporters, listen up. Listen up, I'm talking over here. I'm Pam, and I'm talking, and I've said that, hi, all of you cannot, I repeat, cannot celebrate Cinco de Mayo or any Mexican-related things. Just so you know, nobody, total stranger that no one knows, I'm telling you what you can and can't celebrate. Are you listening? Don't do it. Like, seriously, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are, Sally? Like that? No. People just want to flick you like a mosquito. It just doesn't work. And you look dumb, and the internet is forever. So that's unfortunate. I know there's times that I've said stuff and I'm like, oh, that's forever. That's unfortunate. My grandson may see that one day. Rarely happens because I stick by what I say, even if it offends people. I'm never upset about offending someone. That's not something that I'm worried about. It's just like me accidentally saying, misquoting something or something. I'm like, oh, dang. So anyway, these are some things on my brain. Still cannot believe that my dog is gone. Just happened yesterday. Yes, I've made 2 podcasts in one day for anybody doing the math, because I'm going to be coming up on working overtime and not going to have a lot of time. So I am like pre-recording stuff. See, that's how dedicated I am. Anyway, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a spouse, a partner, a coworker, tell a stranger, hey, there's this podcast. It's called Ramblings of an Insomniac. Check it out. And thank you so much for listening. I absolutely appreciate it. I really genuinely can't tell you enough how much it means to me that everybody has been tuning in from all over, like every dang place, lots of different countries, lots of different cities here within the US. And to all those cities that I pick on and all of those people that I pick on and all those countries that I pick on, and you're still listening, that's some boss ass shit right there. That's some fucking badass motherfuckery going on. And I love it. So gold stars, thumbs up, Robot Dance, and Sprinkler, and Robot, and Running Man, and the Vogue, and back to Running Man. That's all for you. That dance was sponsored to you by Ramblings of an Insomniac for you, for being an awesome listener. Thank you so much, and until next time.